Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have an Our Doris to share with you. This is a story I wrote for an event the writers group were holding at King Edward Street Chapel in Macclesfield. However, if you have read both of the Doris books, if you know how the second book ends, then this very well could be a sneak peek at Doris3. This is the story, entitled Snow. Our Doris is trapped in a petrol station in Stockport because of this snow. We just arrived in the departure lounge at some Portuguese airport. Ordinarily, our Doris wouldn't travel to Portugal, but she's been after new experiences, and she says there's nothing like travelling to the Margate of Europe to get a good idea of how the other half live. There's no way it's to do with Marcia from the golf club spending the winter months in a villa out that way. Either way, we're in the departure lounge when some young so-and-so with Wi-Fi tells us that Manchester is grown into a standstill because of the heavy snow. This lad, mid-20s, with a beard Grizzly Adams would be proud of, starts harping on about how this is a sure sign of climate change, this is a new ice age, and his mum was wrong to buy him a Braun electric razor for Christmas. He got into a debate about global warming with some other folk in the lounge, but our Doris were having none of it, having spotted an offer on Estee Lauder Youth Due in the duty-free. We eventually board our flight. It goes as most flights go. Little leg room, flatulence and bawling children watching episode after episode of Paw Patrol on a whole host of Kindles and iPads, a far cry from the conkers I played with as a lad. Then, Manchester Airport. And snow. Before we left, our Doris booked a taxi man to collect us. He were there all right. He'd also brought enough snow to recreate Scott's expedition. Quite honestly, our Doris had enough luggage to trek across the Arctic because she's never learnt to pack lightly. The taxi man had enough trouble to cram it all inside, and even then he had to do it all under the supervision of our Doris, who cared little for the snow battering her tweed overcoat from John Lewis. It turns out our driver doesn't know how to drive. Not in snow in any case. He's more used to racing down Cheshire's country roads than getting a pair of elderly folk to Partridge Mews at 2 o'clock in the morning. Luckily, there wasn't much traffic. Not so luckily, a wheel exploded as we entered Stockport, which meant that I, Harold Copeland, 73 years old, had to help push a Renault to the nearest petrol station. A petrol station that happened to be closed, so as the driver had to borrow our Doris's mobile phone, something she wasn't happy about because she was in a contract with the phone company and didn't think it entirely legal for someone else to infringe upon the minutes she'd paid for. Once the AA arrived, I thought all our problems had been solved, that they could return me and our Doris to Partridge Mews and we could go to bed. But no such luck, because our Doris says that she can't have it getting around that she travels in such vehicles, and that I'd have to go home and collect our car before returning for her. Which is how I came to be drinking hot chocolate with a taxi driver and a man from the AA in a magnet kitchen at 4 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve. I'll go back for our Doris eventually. It's like a new ice age out there. Going out in this weather's just asking for trouble. And that's the story. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you are at all interested in supporting me and would like to hear more about Our Doris's adventures, then the links to both of my books are in the description. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, that is all.